Only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Our sponsor, Lockheed Martin, proudly partners with U.S. and international customers to accomplish critical missions, deterring and defeating threats wherever they may roam. At the same time, they're zeroed in on affordability, working in partnership across industry and government to reduce F-35 cost per flight hour, delivering unrivaled capability and cost per effect. That's ingenuity at its best. Lockheed Martin, your mission is ours.
I was 53, divorced, and ready to get back out there. I was unsure about dating sites, but I signed up for Silver Singles and quickly met Lily.
Mark and Lily rediscovered the romance they deserve on Silver Singles, the secure dating site for 50-plus singles who know what they want.
Lily's a lover of the great outdoors like me, and we instantly connected over it.
If you're like Mark and want to rediscover that feeling, sign up today at silversingles.com/love. That's silversingles.com/love.
Disappointing news for collectors counting on a timepiece to bail them out in times of financial trouble.
Dealers say prices for some pre-owned collectible watches have declined sharply, in some cases by half, after increasing dramatically the past few years. The watch resale marketplace Chrono24 says the steel Rolex Daytona with a white dial that's been seen on the wrists of celebrities like actor and comedian Kevin Hart is now worth $40,000, down from $52,000 in May, but still up from $24,000 at the beginning of the pandemic. The Wall Street Journal reports other name brand watches have seen similar declines. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
A sweet something for football fans. Brock is introducing 5-flavor candy corn. You get hot dog, hamburger, popcorn, fruit punch, and vanilla ice cream varieties all in the same bag. One social media post. I guess if you're going to ruin a candy, I'm glad it was candy corn. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Oh, boy.
Chances are you are Mutual customizes car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Leo and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 and 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty. They say to never mess with the classics, but Panera did just that and more with our new Chef's Chicken Sandwiches. By using pan-seared chicken, our secret garlic aioli recipe, Parmesan crisps, and pickle chips, all on a buttery brioche roll. Because if no one messed with the classics, you'd never have a chicken sandwich this good. New Chef's Chicken Sandwiches from Panera. Only $1 delivery fee when you order on our app. Restrictions apply. For details, visit PaneraBread.com/delivery info.
Almost 3 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthy. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage, the world's only nose cleaner that helps flush out airborne germs with powered suction. But what do doctors have to say about Navage? Here's Dr. Tonya Farmer, a board-certified ear, nose, and throat specialist.
Most airborne allergens and viruses enter through your nose. When that happens, it can cause congestion and irritation, and that just makes you feel miserable. You can get a cold, you can get flu, sinus infections, or even worse. Flushing your nose with a saline solution is the most effective way to flush all of those dangerous threats out of your nose. So now when patients come to my office, I tell them I highly recommend that you use Navage on a daily basis for overall good health and wellness.
And Navage is all natural and drug-free at Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn the best price from up to 10 price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote. For example, George is 39. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $22 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino, and believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-890-6688. That's 800-890-6688. 800-890-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials, or price could vary depending on your health, insurance company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Join Sean Hannity Sundays at 3 p.m. for the Encore Show.
Chinese, the Russians don't fear Joe Biden.
On News Radio 1440. Your WSFA First Alert weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Allstate. Are you a safe driver? Are you looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Lower chances of showers and storms today and tomorrow as we round out this first work week in August. Temperatures today around 93, temperatures tomorrow around 95. Both days will feature a mix of sun and clouds. Chances for showers and storms today around 30%, only 20% on Friday. So some much needed dry time after a very wet start to the week. Saturday and Sunday will feature some scattered late afternoon and evening showers and storms with highs in the 90s.
That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now, things are looking good. Your Thursday kicks off with no major problems or accidents. Interstate systems moving smoothly into the Tri-County area. You keep listening. We'll keep you posted with the latest and the most accurate traffic conditions on the radio. Reinhardt Toyota is hiring new car sales consultants. Pays $3,600 a month. Some sales experience is preferred. Stop by Reinhardt Toyota or go to jobsreinhardttoyota.com. Buckle up. It's the law for Montgomery Skywatch traffic. This is Major Delay.
Why are you driving around town on old bald tires? Do you like living dangerously? Say no to old, bald, and dangerous. For all your tire needs, Chico's Auto Pros, 239-9510.
Good morning, I'm Jed Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Thursday. The U.S. Department of Transportation is giving
Missing something in here.
$17 million in grants for airports in smaller cities. That includes Montgomery. Montgomery's airport will get $300,000. Some of that money will be used for marketing the flights to Washington, D.C. Also from Alabama, the Gulf Shores Airport will get $500,000. Inflation is driving up the price of school lunches in some Alabama school districts. And this could really put a strain on families who've gotten used to free meals at school during the pandemic. Prices will not be changing for students already registered for reduced or free lunches. And with these changes, some parents can expect to pay around $20 per week on school food. Attention Braves fans, you have the chance today to see the World Series Championship Trophy. It'll be on display at the Home Depot in Montgomery off the Eastern Boulevard between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Fans will be allowed to take pictures of the trophy and also giveaways as well. That's your news on this Thursday.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance, so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 and 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. They say to never mess with the classics, but Panera did just that and more with our new Chef's Chicken Sandwiches. By using pan-seared chicken, our secret garlic aioli recipe, Parmesan crisps, and pickled chips, all on a buttery brioche roll. Because if no one messed with the classics, you'd never have a chicken sandwich this good. New Chef's Chicken Sandwiches from Panera. Only $1 delivery fee when you order on our app. Restrictions apply. For details, visit PaneraBread.com/delivery info.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn the best price from up to 10 price competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote. For example, George is 39. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $22 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino, and believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call
They all say,
890-6688. That's 800-890-6688.
Didn't they give you the same information you could have got by yourself?
890-6688. Okay. Or go to selectquote.com. Since 1985, We shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
He's smart, witty, and fast on the draw. It's Mark Levin this afternoon at 5 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
Alrighty then. Parallels.
Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
Alrighty then.
Tomorrow morning, if you wake up and the sun does not appear, I will be here. If in the darkness I of love, hold my hand and have no
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It's time to rise and shine once again, if you can. It's another day that the Lord has made. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and it is time for our daily bread. A word from on high, something that'll change your perspective or give you a new one. Either way, it's good for the soul. It is August the 4th, 2022 AD. Today's scripture insight comes from Genesis 1:20 through 21 and 24 through 28. Today's what's the date? What am I trying to get? I can't even hear myself here. Oh, here we go. Today's title is The Privilege of Stewardship. Genesis 1:28 says, rule over the fish in the sea and the birds of the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground. Govern yourselves accordingly. And again, it is August the 8th. It is a day that has never been, and it is a day that shall never come again. So whatever you do this day, remember, you only get one shot at it. And once it's done, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to come back and undo all the things you did today. And you don't get a chance to come back and do all the things you should have done. So whatever you do, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you be proud of what you have done this day. If you have lived a while, you've seen, you've heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace of God and a lot of mercy thrown in, we may, I'm not sure, but we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day that is the first day of the rest of your life. What are you going to do with it? Well, whatever you do, see if you can reach back and help somebody else along the way. Benjamin Elijah May said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well, no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be born can do it any better. I say if that is the standard by which you live life, you'll always be successful, or you'll fail at a thing or two. We all do. The difference is quitters don't win. And winners, where they may fail at a thing or two, they never quit. They keep going. So don't you quit. Never, ever give up, because quitters don't win. And winners, well, they never quit. And no matter what happens to you on this day, August the 4th, 2022, it is still, as it always has been, a great day to be alive. Good morning, Montgomery. It's time to rise and shine. The privilege of stewardship. That's our daily bread for this day, August the 4th, 2022 AD. We'll be back after this.
My name is Xochitl Dixon. In today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread, I share a personal story in the privilege of stewardship. While on vacation, my husband and I walked along the beach and noticed a large square patch of sand blocked off by a makeshift fence. A young man explained that he worked around the clock with a team of volunteers committed to guarding the eggs in each sea turtle's nest. Once the hatchlings emerged from their nest, the presence of both animals and humans threatened and decreased their chance of survival. Even with all our efforts, he said, scientists estimate that only 1 out of every 5,000 hatchlings reach adulthood. These bleak numbers didn't discourage this young man, however. His passion for selflessly serving the hatchlings deepened my desire for respecting and protecting sea turtles. Now, I wear a sea turtle pendant that reminds me of my God-given responsibility to care for the creatures he's made. When God created the world, he provided a habitat in which each creature could live and thrive. When he created his image bearers, God intended for us to rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. He helps us serve him as responsible stewards who use our God-given authority to care for his vast creation. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Genesis 1, verses 20 to 21, and verses 24 to 28. And God said, let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky. So God created the great creatures of the sea and every living thing with which the water teems and that moves about in it according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And now, picking up at verse 24. And God said, let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and the wild animals, each according to its kind. And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, over the livestock and all the wild animals, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female. He created them. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground. Let's pray. Loving Creator and Sustainer of all, please show us tangible ways we can fulfill our responsibility as stewards of your creation and inspire others to care for the world you've entrusted to us. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Alrighty then.
Course, all teach, who? Airborne. Here we go, all the way, gotta be, rough and tough, airborne, every day, we run to the sun, no sweat, not yet, down in the mess hall on my knees, we got nothing to eat but a can of beans. Nothing to eat but a can of beans. The bread was molded and the meat was bad. The bread was molded and the meat was bad.
You know darn well that you can't eat that.
You know darn well that you can't eat that. You know.
Time to rise and shine, people. Time to rise and shine. Rough and tough. All the way.
Wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne, easing the breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an aircraft while in flight. All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on. All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on,
Driving on.
Early one morning in the drizzling rain.
Well, I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go.
Green light lead with a chilling glow. All the way airborne, airborne, all the way driving on, driving on.
All righty. PT time coming up next. It's Friday Eve. Here we go. All the way. Gotta be rough and tough. Airborne. All the way. All right, start with PT. Last day of PT of the week. Okay, I gotta get it. I gotta get up and do it. Boy, I'm trying to get old for this. All right, who's calling today? There we go. Run some more.
Run a little, run some more. Well, when your left foot strikes the ground.
When your left foot strikes the ground, well, I can be a clapping sound. Come on now. And I'm airborne all the way. And up and we done to the sun. Hollywood, looking good. All right, dynamite. Everybody, sound off. Everybody, let me hear you. In the rear, keep it tight. Stretch it right. In the front, rock steady. Rough and ready. Here we go. How you feel? Feeling good. All right. Dynamite. On the side. Feeling good. Motivated. Dedicated. On the beat. I am more. On the beat. I am more. Okay, that's enough of that. Alrighty then. Woo! And now we pay homage to all of our armed forces of the United States of America. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and of course the Coast Guard. And let's not forget Space Force. Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. Let's say good morning to my good friends out there in Montgomery Maintenance Department, Montgomery Fire Department, Montgomery Police Department, and of course my good friends of the Sanitation Department who are out there waiting for I come to work first thing in the morning. Hey, I'm proud of you. The United States Navy. Good morning, Cesar Gutierrez. How you doing? Looking good. it's a great day to be alive. Their motto is Semper Fidelis, or Semper Fi. Well, whether it's Semper Fidelis or Semper Fi, it all means the same thing. Always. Not sometimes, not only on the weekends, but always faithful. The United States Marines. Hey, we got a black guy in charge of the Marines now. So maybe I'll get my honorary Marine Corpsship in this now. I'm gonna check out and see. I mean, he know my pain. But last but not least, the United States Army. Over 200 and something years of service to this great nation. Home of such storied units such as the 82nd Airborne, the Rangers, Delta Force, and a couple other forces. 25th ID, 1st ID, 3rd ID, 2nd ID. You know what I'm talking about. And let's just say good morning to Fort Benning down near the south of us. Somebody down there right now is talking about how they want to be like me. They don't even know me, but they want to be like me. But I was, I was doing the same thing some 37, 40 years ago. I was down there at Fort Benning saying I want to be airborne like the other guy. Okay. Yeah, I know. I did it. We did. Yeah, I did it. We knocked it out. We got it done. We did what we had to do. We got it done. Okay, that's what we did. Okay, we went down to Fort Benning. We took on the world. Even though I like to broke both my feet the first day I tried to come out that airplane. No, that was the tower I came out of. I like to broke both feet. They said, don't reach for the ground with your feet. And of course, what am I doing? I'm trying to reach for the ground with my feet, not realizing how fast you're coming down. Like to broke both my feet. But however, that weekend, even though both my feet were almost crippled, there I was sitting on the side of the bed and jump scooting. I had a choice to make. I could wimp out and say, Sergeant Airborne, I'm done because my feet hurt. I could have did that. I could have said, hey, okay, I'm going this far and no further. But anybody can quit. Anybody can say it's too hard for me. Anybody can do that. Don't take courage to do that. So here's what I did. I sat there, went out and got me some Epsom salt and a pan. And I soaked my feet in Epsom salt. Hey, I don't hear. So I swept my feet, I sat there and soaked those feet in water. And I said to myself, I'm going to handle this. And even though a day before we got ready to make our first jump, somebody came streaming in. Somebody's chute didn't open. That's right, it didn't open. Now, we know there's a chance that could happen. There's a chance. But there's also a chance that you get hit by a car if you're driving down the road. So we accept those chances. We accept those risks. And I think that's probably one of the things with Americans, a lot of us don't want to accept the risks that come with success. With anything worth having is worth fighting for. We don't seem to want to take the risk anymore, But there I was, sitting on the side of my bed as a 20-year-old, okay, not really knowing what the hell was going on, but I know one thing, I'd come too far to quit. So there I was, sitting on the side of the bed with my water, feet killing me, ready to give up, ready to quit. But something in me said, once you start quitting is easy. So that whole weekend, rather than go to Ranger Joe's or Columbus, Georgia, out there, or Phoenix City, any place like that, I said, well, okay, I'll sit by my bed all weekend long and soak my feet. And it worked out. It worked out. It did. It worked out because my feet they were still hurting a little bit, but for the most part, I dealt with it. Then that next week came the first jump. And as I got in the airplane, so you guys actually lucky. You actually have a paratrooper on the airways of Alabama. You got somebody who know what it's like to be there. Okay. And so there I was on a C-123. Or it's a C-130. It was one of them birds. Now I'm scared. I don't ever open my eyes. You know, because if my chute don't open, I don't want to know it. So I'm sitting there, and the door's open. You know, you got to hook up your thing right there, your thingamajigger, the whatever, the static line. Because I didn't do Halo. I had a hard enough time believing in the rope. I know doggone well I wasn't gonna jump without something to hold me to that airplane. But anyway, so there I was and ready to go. And then all of a sudden, the doors come open. That's right. The doors come open. And the light is red. And we're sitting there. Now I'm about 10th in the stick. Right? I'm about 10th. I mean, I didn't want to be first. I didn't want to be first. So there I was. Okay, never mind. I know you got tired of hearing this, so I'm gonna leave that alone. But there I was, gonna jump out of an airplane. I mean, you know, you watch it on TV, right? I used to watch the Green Berets. Me and John Wayne were like friends on TV. You know, John Wayne, and tell you the truth, John Wayne is the reason why I wanted to be airborne. Because John Wayne made being a Green Beret look so easy. They taking grenades with their teeth and bam, and I said, okay, that's what I wanted. I want to be that tough guy right there. I want to be tough. Then I found out John Wayne, you know, was never in the military, but he did a great job of getting me there. So anyway, okay, that's it. That's it. That's my story for the morning. I'll give you the rest some other time, but just remember, I left off. There I was, and the doors began to open. Okay, and as the doors began to open, I heard the wind. And the plane was going 200 miles an hour. I don't know how long is the plane. How fast is the plane going in the air? I don't know. All I know, it had to go a little fast so it could stay in the air. But there I was, waiting to go. I was 10th in the stick. That means there were 9 guys in front of me, ready to go. To take that leap into destiny. And me, I was going to take that leap like the 10th one in destiny. There I was. The sun was outside. There was no rain. No clouds in the sky. It was absolutely a gorgeous day. It was a great day to be an airborne soldier. Anyway, all right, that's it. Now I'm done. So I'll go and promise. I'll go and tell another one when I come back. Okay. So y'all hang loose. Hang loose. We'll be back. Okay, after this, hang loose. Don't go any place. Where's my music at? Where is my music? Oh, there we go. All right, we'll be back.
Somehow he believes, although he has no job, that by his 30s he will be a millionaire. M-I-L-L-E-N-N-I-A. Gotta love
Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Staples Stores. Now at Staples, Staples Rewards members are automatically entered to win one of 5 $5,000 Visa gift cards with every $50 in-store purchase. Offer ends 8/6. Visit staplesconnect.com/fuel your summer sweeps for rules and eligibility. Staples, the working learning store.
Lower chances of showers and storms today and tomorrow as we round out this first work week in August. Temperatures today around 93. Temperatures tomorrow around 95. Both days will feature a mix of sun and clouds. Chances for showers and storms today around 30%. Only 20% on Friday, so some much needed dry time after a very wet start to the week. Saturday and Sunday will feature some scattered late afternoon and evening showers and storms.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. There's an accident on the ramp from Ann Street to 85 northbound. They're at the top of the ramp on the interstate on the right. So 85 northbound, top of the ramp from Ann Street to 85 north. Please be advised there. Outside of that, we're looking pretty good. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. An equity loan or a cash out refinance on your home may be just a phone call away. Call MCS, the company that answers their phone when you call. MCS in Wetumpka, 567-9000. NMLS 232876. Buckle up for Montgomery Skywatch traffic. This is Major Delay.
Why are you driving around town on those old ball tires? Do you like living dangerously? Say no to old, bald, and dangerous. For all your tire needs, Chico's Auto Pros, 239-9510.
Esports is taking a vacation to Hawaii as the island is opening their first public esports lab. The facility will be a part of the Waipahu Public Library and is open to anyone with a library card. The esports lab took 6 months to build and is decked out with 5 top-end PCs. The presence of esports has been growing in Hawaii for the past few years, and it's fantastic that the public now has access to a facility that can take a player to the next level.
The latest esports and gaming news. Find it online at checkpointxp.com.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? They may drop little hints like,
beautiful day out. Even more beautiful since we saved by bundling our home and car insurance with Geico.
or
Yard work is hard. Much harder than bundling with Geico, which was easy.
maybe even subtler, like,
Speaking of burgers, we bundled our home and car insurance with Geico and saved a bunch of money.
bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio, with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text local to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
When it comes to keeping up with projects on your property, you need quality equipment you can depend on. That's exactly what you get with John Deere equipment from SunSouth. And now's a great time to drive off in a new John Deere from SunSouth during the trade-in and trade-up sales event. Receive up to $2,500 trade-in bonus cash on 2012 or newer competitive light trade-ins. Find the John Deere that's right for you. Visit SunSouth. Equipment for those that do.
Offer valid on qualifying purchases made through August 30th, 2022. Trade-in bonus phase based on model and competitive trade. Government restrictions apply.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs is calling all creative minds. The department exists to engage, enlighten, and elevate a diverse, inclusive cultural arts community. They're committed to strengthening and showcasing organizational and individual cultural endeavors in our hometown. To advance this cause, they're seeking individual artists, artisans, advocacy groups, schools, and avid patrons of the arts. If this is you, visit montgomeryal.gov and click on the Cultural Affairs page to register to be part of Montgomery's creative community.
Waiting was such a mistake. That's one of the things we hear most after we've successfully treated one of our patients for erectile dysfunction. At Montgomery Men's Health, we want you to know first and foremost that waiting is a mistake, because the longer you wait, the more difficult it can be to treat your ED. Using what you've got is important, not just for your relationship, but for your overall health. There's some truth to the phrase, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. At Montgomery Men's Health, we'll fight for your ability to consistently perform without the anxiety that so many men experience. In fact, you might even find you performing like you haven't in a long time. We only treat ED and low T at Montgomery Men's Health, and we've successfully treated many men with protocols that are effective in nearly 90% of cases. We also have a full complement of treatments, including acoustic wave therapy, so you get the one that works best for you. So don't wait. Make an appointment. For just $99, you get a medical consultation, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose. Call today, 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663, or go to montgomerymenshealth.com.
Don't miss Sean Hannity. Biden incoherently adheres live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
And we are back. Hey, Montgomery Men's Health, they really do a great job. I've been over there. Hey, when you get old, you start losing testosterone and all that kind of stuff, you know. So you kind of lose it and you got to go back and get it up. You know, it happens like once you hit around 25, 30 years old, you start to lose a little bit of that. So really, you need to go by there and check them out. Okay, honestly, they 440-3663 is only $99. Not only do they check for your low T or your high T, they check to make sure that you got your PSA stuff is good, that's your prostate, make sure that it's doing well. I've been over there, and I'm telling you what, they do a great bunch of folks over there. They even got sense of humor over there. So go over there and see them. Don't suffer. You don't have to. They got a plan just right for you. It is the best $99 you can possibly spend to change your life. You can't spend $99 most of the time to change anything, but you can if you spend it with Montgomery Men's Health. Okay, I'm just telling you, they can handle you. Okay, so give them a call. Write your number down: 440-3663. 440-3663. Okay. Anyway, it's time for Lessons of Life right now. You know how we do this. We do the same thing every morning. It doesn't really change very much because my goal is to get you motivated. Okay, to do wonderful things and to get a perspective that you probably never quite had before, and that's why we do our Lessons of Life. Okay, that's why we do it. Anyway, good morning to you. The word of the day. Now, this word is a tough word because We have forgotten how to use it in America. We have forgotten this word in America, and without this word, America would not be where we are today. Good, bad, especially the good part. Some of the bad parts we can take away with. But if it were not for this word, nobody, America wouldn't, we wouldn't have got this far. So what is the word? Well, the word means an ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. Again, it means an ability to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. And the word is resilience. We forgot how to do that in America sometimes. Okay, we really forgot how to do that. Hey, when you get knocked down, you get back up. You get knocked down again, you get back up. You get knocked down for the third time, you get back up. You don't gain strength from falling. You gain the strength for getting up every time you do. So resilience, that's what you got to do. We got to reach down and way down deep in our side sometimes. I mean, you can quit, but like Malcolm said, if you sit around crying for yourself, everybody's going to look at you like you're crazy. Nobody's going to pay you any attention till you get mad and want to do something. So I'm just saying resilience is the word of today, resilience. Now, here are the lessons of life today. In order to complete any goal, any goal, you set out to do something, the only way, and there's no substitute for this, the only way to complete, to finish a goal, the desire to finish must be stronger than your desire to quit. Okay? And quitting's easy. Everybody can do it. Okay? So in other words, in order to finish anything, your desire to finish the goal has to be stronger than your desire to quit. If something happens to you, the first thing you would do, okay, I'll quit. Well, you'll never know. You'll never know. You'll never ever know could you have finished had you just stuck in there. You never know. So don't be quitting. Okay? You must have a desire to succeed. It's got to be stronger than your desire to quit. And only you can figure that out. All right? I'm just telling you. That's something you might want to do. All right. It is August the 4th. It is the 216th day of the year. On August 4th, 1977, President Jimmy Carter signed a measure establishing the Department of Energy. In 1790, the U.S. Coast Guard had its beginning as President George Washington signed a measure authorizing the groups of revenue cutters to enforce tariff and trade laws and to prevent smuggling. In 1792, English Romantic poet Percy Bysshe, close to it, Shelley, was born in Field Place near Horsham, England. In 1830, plans for the city of Chicago were laid out. In 1914, on this day, British declared war on Germany for invading Belgium. The United States proclaimed its neutrality in a mushrooming world conflict. In 1936, Jesse Owens of the United States won the second of his 4 gold medals at the Berlin Olympics as he prevailed in the long jump over German Lutz Long, who was the first to congratulate him. In 1944, 15-year-old diarist Anne Frank was arrested with her sister, parents, and 4 others by the Gestapo after hiding for 2 years inside a building in Amsterdam. Anne and her sister Margot died at the concentration camp, and I think it's a Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. That's a shame. 1964, on this day, the bodies of the missing civil rights Michael Swepner, Andrew Goodman, and James Chaney were found buried in an earthen dam in Mississippi. The year was 1972. Arthur Bremer was convicted and sentenced in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, to 63 years in prison for his attempt at the life of Alabama Governor George C. Wallace. The sentence was later reduced to 53 years. Bremer was released in 2007. In 1975, the Swedish pop group ABBA became recording their hit single Dancing Queen at Glen Studio outside Stockholm. It was released a year later. In 1987, that was the year on this day, the Federal Communications Commission, otherwise known as FCC, voted 4-0 to abolish the Fairness Doctrine, which required radio and television stations to present balanced coverage of controversial issues. That's because we could never get the other side to show up anyway. So they just complained, but they don't want to come and defend their position. In 1993, a federal judge sentenced Los Angeles police officer Stacy Coon and Lawrence Powell to 2.5 years in prison for violating Rodney King's civil rights. I don't know. Fast as Rodney King was going down that road, I don't know. You know, he might have needed a butt whooping. 1997, Teamsters went on a 15-day strike against United Parcel Service after talks broke down in the nation's largest package delivery service. Okay, and in 2004, former teacher Mary Kay Latumo, or close to it, convicted of having sex with a 6th grade pupil, was released from Washington State Prison after 7.5 years behind bars. I'll never understand that one. I'll never get that one. 13 years ago, North Korean leader Kim Jong II pardoned American journalists Lori Ling and Yoon Lee for entering the country illegally and ordered their release during the surprise visit by former U.S. President Bill Clinton. Taliban militants unleashed a wave of rockets at Kabul's international airport, government building less than 3 weeks after Afghanistan presidential election. A gunman opened fire in a health club in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania, killing 3 women before killing himself. Why did he just kill himself to first begin with? All right then. 8 years ago, on this day, the U.S. and Africa Summit in Washington, D.C., President Barack Obama announced a $33 billion in commitments aimed at shifting U.S. ties with Africa beyond the humanitarian aid toward more of an equal economic partnerships. We're trying to get some of that over here. Israel and Hamas accepted Egyptian ceasefire proposal meant to halt a bruising month-long war that had claimed nearly 2,000 lives. James Brady, 73 years old at the time, the affable, witty press secretary who had survived a devastating head wound in 1981 assassination attempt against President Ronald Reagan and undertook a personal campaign for gun control, died in Alexandria, Virginia. And it was 3 years ago, a utility worker killed in a vehicle-related accident near a Northern California wildfire, becoming the 7th person to die amid the immense blaze that had been burning for 2 weeks near Redding, near Redding. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro dodged what officials described as an assassination attempt when drones armed with explosives detonated. Okay then. Well, I guess you got out of that one. That was good. And here's a bit of news for all you vegans, vegetarian vegans out there. It seems that this whole thing about going meatless is waning. People are saying that they don't want. We want meat. Okay, we want meat. Okay, the whole Beyond Meat thing, Burger King came out. Okay, people don't want that. Our stomach know what we want. We want meat. Okay, this fake meat thing's not gonna cut it. Okay, so it seems like that particular thing is dying on the vine. So if you're one of them people who don't like meat, I'm sorry, but we were made to eat meat. Okay, yeah, we were made. Okay, now maybe not the dog, not the cat, but we were made to eat meat. I mean, so y'all can, this plant-based thing it's cool, but it don't taste like meat. Okay, you cannot give me anything and tell me that a plant and tell me that's hamburger meat. Okay, we're not gonna go for that. I mean, I'm not that stupid. We gotta have meat. Okay? We gotta have meat. So while y'all sit around there, because you don't know what's in some of them plants. Of course, you don't know what's in some of that meat either. But I'll take my chance on some meat. So it just seems like to me that people should still eat meat. So don't give up meat. Okay, maybe you don't have to eat as much meat, but don't give up meat. I'm just saying you need meat. Meat's part of the whole. It's part of the whole alpha system we got out there. I mean, if you don't eat the meat, I'm thinking about this for a second. If you don't eat the meat, there's gonna be a whole bunch of animals around coming to eat you. Okay, I'm just saying, sooner or later, either you're going to eat them or they're going to eat you. And when an animal wants to eat you, they don't really have no moral compulsion to let you sit there and not be eaten. I'm just saying, you might want to take that into your thing. Now, I will say one thing. I do have this one problem with people who kill deer. Okay, listen. I understand the necessity to manage the herds. I get that part. But now, why you want to kill something and then put the head on your wall? See, that part I don't get. I don't get why we can kill the poor little animal, the bears and the deer, and then put them on your wall. See, because I got this thought in my mind. One of these days, remember the Planet of the Apes, where the Planet of the Apes were the apes were in charge of us. Well, I got the thing when the animals gonna be in charge, and then all of a sudden they're gonna put us on the wall. They won't get me because I haven't put one deer head on my wall. Okay. I personally can't shoot Bambi. Okay, I just can't do it to him. Now if he's coming at me, I can probably whack him, but I can't just whack him when he's sitting there enjoying his meal. I just can't do that. Come on. Animal got a right to eat too. How would you like to be going through the forest, picking up some dinner here and there, and all of a sudden, hell, a lot of people want to shoot at you? Yeah, I'm just saying you might want to rethink that sport. Killing things, then put the head on the wall. One of these days, there's going to be a rebellion. Okay, I don't know when it's going to come, but it's going to be a rebellion. I believe we're supposed to we probably should have some deer meat, but don't be putting the head on the wall. Okay, if you're gonna eat the deer, eat the whole thing. I'm just saying. I've never been that. And the poor turkey. The poor turkey. Although the turkey's got to be the ugliest thing around. Besides a vulture, a turkey looks just as bad as a vulture does. I don't even know how you eat them. First of all, anything with wings that big, I don't want to eat them. I'm just not gonna eat them. I'm just not gonna. Not yet. Okay. Now I may fillet them, but I ain't gonna eat. I'm not gonna. I won't be looking at like fish. I can't eat fish with the head on it. How in the world can I eat something that's looking at me? Seriously, how can we do that? Okay, I can't do that. Because I see them crying at me and stuff like that, and looking. I can see those little eyes saying, "What'd you do this to me for?" I'm just minding my own business. I'm sitting in the water, going around. Trying to find some more water. Okay, I'm in a bunch of water right now. I'm trying to find my brothers and my sisters, and you gonna throw that. I'm hungry, so you're gonna throw something in the water, and all of a sudden, next thing I know, I'm on your plate. You got to feel guilty about that kind of thing. You got to feel guilty. I can't do it, so I can't go fishing. I just got to go to Winn-Dixie and grab the fish that's already been caught. Okay, Winn-Dixie, Publix, wherever it is, I go find some fish. Okay. All right then. What else we got going on today? Oh man, a lot of things. The mayor has got a homelessness task force. I need somebody to define homeless for me, because is homeless being without a home, or are you considered homeless if you just don't want a home? See, that's so what is homelessness? If you don't want to stay in a building, no place, that's not homelessness. That's a choice. I'm just trying to figure out what is homelessness. You think every guy sitting on the corner begging for money is homeless? I don't think so. I'm just thinking, we got to stop. We have got to stop giving people an excuse to be lazy. I'm not saying everybody's lazy because they're not. Things happen to people. I got that part. Things happen to people. Could happen to me too. But sitting on the corner with a cup is not going to get you rent money. Okay? It ain't going to get you rent money, especially when we got everybody I know wants to hire somebody. So how in the world can somebody sit out there and say they can't find a job? How's that possible? But that's okay. That's okay. They're going to put robots and making burgers pretty soon, and won't nobody have a job. So then you understand what homeless is. Yep, I know they're going to do that. Anyway, so much for that. I think that's my diatribe for this morning. But the mayor's got a homelessness in Montgomery thing, and he's got a homeless task force. Yeah, put me on it. But first of all, I want to define what homeless is. Are you homeless because you got put out of your home, or are you homeless because you don't want a home? So that I just want to, we need to define what that is, because everybody sitting on the corner whining is not homeless. Matter of fact, some of these folks got Mercedes-Benz and all kind of things. They're living better than I am. I'm just saying you might want to, so Mayor, we need to define what homeless is before we get on this crusade about homelessness. Okay, we really need to find out what it is. Okay, so let's define what it is, and then we can get to work on. And what do you guys think we should do for homelessness anyway? I don't know. I don't know if there's a cure for it. I gotta go. So we'll see you back later on.
Now, your WSFA 12 news update on Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Jed Davis. Here's what's happening in the news on this Thursday. The U.S. Department of Transportation is giving out nearly $17 million in grants for airports in smaller cities. And that includes Montgomery. Montgomery's airport will get $300,000. Some of that money will be used for marketing their flights to Washington, D.C. Also from Alabama, the Gulf Shores Airport will get $500,000. Inflation is driving up the price of school lunches in some Alabama school districts, and this could really put a strain on families who've gotten used to free meals at school during the pandemic. Now, prices will not be changing for students already registered for reduced or free lunches, and with these changes, some parents can expect to pay around $20 per week on school food. Attention Braves fans, you have the chance today to see the World Series Championship Trophy. It'll be on display at the Home Depot in Montgomery off the Eastern Boulevard between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Fans will be allowed to take pictures with the trophy. There'll also be giveaways as well. That's your news on this Thursday.
News Radio 1440 is WLWI AM and 95.1 HD3 FM of Montgomery.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Heart sank in a Russian courtroom moments ago. Just after Brittany Griner was led in handcuffs for the start of closing arguments in her drug possession trial, prosecutors asked for 9.5 years in prison for the WNBA star. That's close to the maximum of 10 she could get. The Griner's fate may be decided by diplomatic bargaining intended to free the star and fellow American Paul Whelan in exchange for a Russian arms dealer. Griner could deliver a closing statement today. Jury deliberations have begun in the trial of a conspiracy theorist who claimed the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting was a hoax. Correspondent Nancy Chen.
Parents of a 6-year-old victim are seeking $150 million in damages. But yesterday in court, they got something else they have wanted for years. Alex Jones finally admitted under oath he knows the Sandy Hook massacre really happened.
The eastern half of the U.S. is facing extreme heat and humidity today. Power companies like New York's Con Ed are warning of outages from high usage. In Kentucky, the heat is making the cleanup from last week's deadly flooding more difficult. But Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman is hopeful.
People who've lost everything are helping people who've lost everything. It is the most heartwarming thing that I've seen.
Rains in the forecast there through the weekend. China fired missiles and deployed fighter jets and warships around Taiwan today, expressing anger over House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's trip to the island nation. Correspondent Cammie McCormick reports.
China launched a series of military exercises around Taiwan, actions Taiwan called irrational. Beijing blames what it calls U.S. provocation. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who is also in Asia in Cambodia, said the U.S. continues to have an abiding interest in peace and security across the Taiwan Strait and opposes any unilateral efforts to change the status quo, especially by force.
The Bank of England predicts the UK's economy will enter recession in the final 3 months of the year with over 13% inflation. The bank raised interest rates by 0.5 percentage point today. S&P futures up 2. Last night in San Diego, a standing ovation from the sellout crowd for the Padres' high-profile newbie.
Line to right and a base hit for Soto.
23-year-old made his debut at Petco Park after he promised to bring good vibes to San Diego, following what may be the biggest deadline deal ever. Dow futures are up 2. This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by
Rocket Mortgage. When you need cash out of your home and a simple way to get it, Rocket can.
Lockheed Martin understands what it takes to accomplish critical missions around the globe. They know it begins with long-standing partnerships rooted in expertise, interoperability, and trust. The most critical missions call for the F-35. It is essential to Allied air power. Across the growing community of F-35 nations, the need for alliance-based deterrence against evolving threats is stronger than ever. Lockheed Martin, your mission is ours.
It's been a while since I gave myself a real chance to meet someone new.
Susan and John are two kindred spirits who rediscovered the romance they deserve on Silver Singles, the secure dating site for singles over 50.
John is a massive foodie like me. It's been amazing to experience some of my favorite things again with someone who makes my heart beat faster. I'm so glad I got back out there.
Sign up today at silversingles.com/love. That's silversingles.com/love.
Many cars get failing marks in a new, tougher crash test from the Insurance Institute.
3 of the 7 midsize cars tested got poor ratings. Institute President David Harkey says the Subaru Outback was the only vehicle to get a good rating on the new side impact test.
They really did a good job of, in terms of the structure of their vehicle, as well as how the side curtain airbag performed.
The Institute added more force to the test to better simulate real-world crashes. Jeff Gilbert, CBS News, Detroit.
A lot of that booze, perfume, and other stuff passengers buy at airport duty-free stores are becoming victims of massive flight cancellations and delays. The Wall Street Journal reports some items need to be returned if passengers can't leave the country, and in some cases, they're confiscated or thrown out. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn the best price from up to 10 price competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote. For example, George is 39. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $22 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino, and believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-890-6688. That's 800-890-6688. 800-890-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Principal engineer positions offered by Reed Manufacturing Company in Montgomery, AL. Responsible for leading project and program development and the realization of general business product design objectives for short and long-range water heating product development to achieve and fulfill market requirements, good manufacturing practices, product cost requirements, best balance of manpower, expense and desired program completion dates, and regulatory requirements. Employee reports to office in Montgomery, AL. Position may work from home but must live within commuting distance of stated office. Please send resume to erica.pinckney-adams@reed.com.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
Well, what happened? Alrighty then.
The thing that's different about a global vacation home, you always have the whole place to yourself. Just
Okay, forgive me. I'm still trying to figure out some of this stuff. It's still kind of tough, but I am working it out. All right. Good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. New equipment always difficult for me to I guess I'm getting too old or something like that. It takes me longer to figure everything out now. Oh well. I'm working on it though. I am. Hey, I went to the school yesterday, and school starts Monday. For all the folks who don't know that, school starts Monday. I don't know. Do all the schools start Monday or just the ones in Montgomery? I thought Prattville normally starts first, but anyway, it starts on Monday. So yesterday, I had my opportunity to go and visit Lee, and had to go in this set. Now I'm not complaining. Okay, so I'm not complaining. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. I'm not complaining. I'm not. Right. But first of all, let me tell you about one of our sponsors of our show, which is JL Lane Truck and Auto. JL Lane Truck and Auto. Then we'll get to what happened at school yesterday. Online inventory, you can go to jllanetruckandauto.com. Look at the inventory right now, and they still got that Lexus there. I've been trying to sell it like for a month now. Somebody needs to go over there and buy that Lexus. Show the man that I got some pull. Okay, if Z was 17, I'd try to get it for him, but he's not 17 yet. I said, we're not going to do this. You hit 17. I think 16 is too young to have a car. I just think you need to get on the bus. Okay, I ride a bus or a biker, so you don't need a car at 16 years old. Okay, you don't need a car until you can actually afford to pay the insurance on it and pay the gas. Okay. Anyway, online inventory. You can buy there, you can pay there. So you don't have to worry about kissing the ring of Montgomery Credit Bureau or anybody like that. They take care of all that for you right there. Okay, the cars have been cleaned. They have been cleared of all known issues. Okay, trust me, it is the premier place in Montgomery to buy a pre-loved car. I don't even say used. Pre-loved automobile is with Mr. Lane. jllanetruckandauto.com. You can check out the inventory right now while you're supposed to be working for the state. Go on the website, check it out, and you can see the car that you want. The car of your dreams is there. And if you don't see it, call the number, and that's Steve, 272-4313, 272-4313. And if they don't have it, I'm pretty sure he can get it. They've been cleaned, they've been cleared of all known issues, passed a rigorous as well as a vigorous inspection process. So if you're ready to ride, right now, 208 Gun Road, you can go there and look at it. 208 Gun Road, put it in your GPS if you don't know what Gun Road is, or you can give them a call, 272-4313. They'll tell you exactly where they are. And if they don't have it, okay, call the number 272-4313, and they will get it for you if it can be gotten. Okay, I'm just saying. JL Lane Truck and Auto, jllanetruckandauto.com. All right. Good morning to you. So anyway, I'm sitting out there yesterday. I had to go to the school I couldn't find out. I got a message yesterday. We got to go to school, pick up Chromebooks. Well, we didn't really have to pick up the Chromebooks, but so as I go over there, now I'm not complaining because everybody was outside in the hot sun. Okay, but I was wondering about something, and maybe the superintendent, whenever we finally get together and have a conversation about this, I was wondering why not just send it. I had to pick up 2 pieces of paper, and I'm saying to myself, so why not just send it to me through email? Why should I go sit in the hot sun outside, and to pick up 2 pieces of paper? But I will say one thing, that it was a pleasure talking to some of the people over there yesterday than it was last year, because some of them were actually quite nice. Okay, they don't make the rules, they just follow the rules. So it was quite pleasurable yesterday. I just didn't like the part where sitting in the hot sun. It gives me flashbacks, of being in the hot desert, hot sun sometimes in the Army. I had to sit in that stuff then on a parade field and scorching hot sun, locking my knees, falling out. You know how it used to work. But anyway, so school starts Monday. Okay, I mean, so you guys need to get your kids better. Now I'm hoping that the new superintendent. See, here's what they gave us yesterday, right? They told us about the do's and don'ts of school, and I'm good. Now I'm going to see if we're actually going to follow the regulations and the SOPs in these books they had me set out in the sun for yesterday. I'm gonna see whether or not they actually do this. Because one of the things that you're supposed to do in public school is have your shirt in your pants and a belt on. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. Now, rarely do I see that happen at Lee. Rarely do I see that. So either we are going to, why have rules? Why have rules in school if you don't make anybody adhere to the rules? And if they can get away with this one, then they can get away with another one and another one and another one. I'm just saying, so let's just see if they had me setting that sun for that yesterday, because we make all these rules and then we don't make anybody follow them. Okay. Young men look a lot better with their shirt in their pants with their belt on. Okay. And if you got a 29 waist, why are you wearing 42 pants, 42 waisted pants? Okay. I don't understand that. The dress code is supposed to mean that, people have a tendency to act the way they look. If you told everybody you have to wear a white shirt and a tie to school, they would act differently than they do when they show up to work now, when they show up to school now. They act differently. When I put on my Sunday best clothes, I act a little differently than when I put on my blue jeans. I'm just saying, you might want to do that. And here's another thing. Isn't it time that we have to stop having these conversations about school? I mean, really, isn't it time? I mean, do we have to have these conversations about value and cross? No. They got a standard. You adhere to the standard, or I guess you're gone. Do we have to have these conversations about MA? No. You don't follow the rules, you're gone. And I don't know who told people just because you go to public school that you have to put up with anything that kids bring you. That's not in the law. But I'm just wondering, we might want to think about, having the rules, making people follow the rules of the school, and it's going to be all right. Okay, I'm just saying we might want to, this year, when we got a new superintendent, we might want to, make people, and I think the dumb haircuts, the dumb hairdos you got to let people wear to school is crazy. I do. I think you ought to have a neat haircut when you show up for school, not all these weird hairdos, because all that's going to do is create chaos and create things that people can start. They'll never see your kids. They'll never see your kids when you allow them to come to school with a stupid looking haircut. They'll never do. All they will see is a stupid haircut. Okay, and at that point, they have been judged and deemed whatever they want to deem them right then and there. So I'm just saying, you might want to get a dress code for hair in public school. Okay, I mean, really, you might want to get one. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And secondarily, we need to put all cell phones in the locker. Let them have them at lunchtime. But of course, I'm not on the board, but we don't need cell phones in the classroom. We just don't. Okay, we just don't. All right, that's what I'm doing. But that's just me. I got to maybe I run for the Board of Education one day and see. Yeah, run for the Board of Education. I'll probably win too. Yeah, I'll probably win. But I can't be. Lisa Keith is my representative, so I'm happy with Lisa. So I can't run against Lisa. That's my buddy. So and I think she does a pretty good job, as a matter of fact. 860-1440 is the number here. You want to give us a call and talk to whatever on your mind this morning. I was thinking the other day as I was getting ready to come to work, and I was thinking, why do we have conversations about politics on the radio? I mean, really, why do we have conversation about these things? Why do we even talk about these things? Because it doesn't seem to really make a big difference not as far as I am as a citizen is concerned. So why do we even talk about it anymore? I mean, we go vote every 4 years, every 2 years for Congress. have we really benefited from this? I mean, has the average citizen actually benefited from lately, in the last 20, 30 years, has the average citizen actually benefited from the process? I ain't talking about the people who get elected. I'm talking about the average Joe, the guy who gets right now his head on the right guy, the guy who's headed to work right now. You know, seeing he's working longer hours, getting less money because the taxes are going up. Has he actually benefited from the process? Or has anybody ever been, has the average citizen really ever benefited from the process? We got into a conversation yesterday about a local business that's trying to enhance its business. But the politicians seem to think that the majority of the politicians seem to think that, they can't do something because they don't like him or they don't like them, whatever the case may be. And I keep hearing people talk about, oh, and here's another thing too. I'm still waiting for Clay McGinnis to tell me where the vision for Fairview Avenue is and where that vision is written. Because in Vision 2020, it kept telling me about Fairview Avenue also. I just want to know, where can I find the map? Where can I find the road map for in Vision 2045, okay, in West Montgomery? I just want, it's got to be someplace. So somebody's got it. Is it on a website or tell me what that plan is? Because when you tell a man his business does not reflect the future plans, then I want to see the future plans. 1991, I never forget it. I'm 1991, 92. Martha Roby's on the city council. I got Cornelius Calhoun. We on West Fairview Avenue talking about facade. We're talking about doing this and doing that, and we were just talking about doing all kinds of things. Well, here we are, 2022, and we haven't done it. First of all, thank God I'm still here. But we really haven't done much. So I'm just trying to figure out, can somebody give me the vision? Tell me where the Vision 2040 is for West Montgomery. That's all. I just want to, where can I find a record of it? Where can I find the preliminary plans for it? I just want to know where it's at. We keep hearing about it, but it's like Sasquatch. I heard about it, I just ain't seen it. Okay, I'm just saying. Maybe somebody out there knows, where it is. Good morning, who's this? Yes. I'm doing pretty good. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, my bad. Okay, let me stop. I forgot that thing. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
I listened to y'all yesterday, and I get a little irritated. You said something a few minutes ago, probably want me to call. You're like, why we talk about these things? We don't benefit from the. And let's go here. When you put black elected officials back at the beginning, as Mother Nature used to talk about, I don't know that you know her. She used to talk about, let's go back to the beginning. Okay? When the beginning starts, when you put black politicians in, their job was to represent the black community and bring stuff to the black community. They don't do that. Anybody can tell you that. And I tell you, give a little time. Y'all talking about the super. They're going to run that superintendent away. They're going to run him away like they run every last 2 or 3 superintendents. They ran him away. They don't like Mr. Boyd. For some reason, I don't know why. I don't give a heck what they say. They don't like that man. I told him when he was talking about it, I didn't really get into too much, but they're not going to let him do that. They hate that man. Now, you can say a lot of times, they don't, yes they do. They hate him with a passion. Did Delahan say he was going to run for city council in that district?
Who?
Yesterday.
Who said it?
This brother Delahan said he was going to run.
Oh, well, I think he alluded to he may run.
He needs all that black and white, but you need to have 5 or 6 blacks down there, because you always gonna have a Judas in the bunch. You always have a Judas, but then if we got the folks in here, you just gotta go out and get them. People like me and you, I'm just sick of them. I'm sick of them. And you know me, you've been around a long time.
Yeah.
I listen to them. And most of the people, I think one of y'all was saying, they never been in business. I think one of the Hobson cops said that. They don't know nothing. And behind the scenes, they getting stuff under the table. The one that come up talking against Mr. Boyd, well, they getting something from the politician now. They getting their post. I can say it goes, not one giving me a blank, because I'm like the stand. I don't ask them for nothing. They don't give me nothing. I don't need nothing from them. I hate to come on and sound like I'm just sick of them. I'm sick of them. That's all of them. They supposed to be representing our community. What do they do for our community, Kevin? You've been around, 31 years now?
Yeah, I've been here for a while, and I must admit that there's been no significant difference except on other parts of town. Yeah. Who?
City council person. He didn't even vote, right? The one over there.
Oh, you're talking about Lion? Yeah, he got in late.
Why would he get in late when he knew what was going on? He knew a month ahead.
Yeah, well.
That was very important. See, they think a game. They think black people just something to play with, but they like children. You could just do anything to them. And the one that gets the little discretionary fund, and then someone alluded to that people up in Huntsville get so many millions of dollars, and they know what to do with it, and they around here sitting on the money, and we need money to do stuff to help the streets, the roads, and different stuff, and help these elder people. You don't hear our people asking for that. Most of them have 2 jobs. Now, most of them work 2 jobs. Did you know that?
Yeah, which, I mean,
City council, especially the black one, and the white too. They work 2 jobs.
Yeah, you got it. Like our preachers, preachers working 2 jobs also. And listen, I got to take a break. We'll be back after this.
Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Indeed.com. Fall is all Indeed. Their all-in-one solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/candidate.
Lower chances of showers and storms today and tomorrow as we round out this first work week in August. Temperatures today around 93, temperatures tomorrow around 95. Both days will feature a mix of sun and clouds. Chances for showers and storms today around 30%, only 20% on Friday. So some much needed dry time after a very wet start to the week. Saturday and Sunday will feature some scattered late afternoon and evening showers and storms with highs in the 90s.
That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now, things are looking good. Nothing's being reported by the authorities that sends you on an alternate route. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. Fall registration in Trenton State's going on now with classes starting August 19th. Change your life and make your dreams reality. Call Trenton State today. Buckle up. It's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
Attention River Region listeners, take advantage of 4 new tires with no money down at Chico's Auto Pros, Montgomery's #1 rated tire store. Chico's Auto Pros.
Trustworthy, up to date, dependable. We are your news station. News Radio 1440.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-826-9895. That's 800-826-9895. 800-826-9895.
We got a different setup now. We've got a new.
Hey, look at that, Kevin. Man, I see this.
Who brought the headphones? Who's got the?
I got mine.
You got your
headphones on. Oh wow, you got this little, looks like new little gadget here too.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one of them. Is there another one around?
No, that one's for you. This other one for this one over here.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
There's
Two different plugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's cool. So we can adjust our own too. Wow.
Yep.
Man, yeah, they're going high tech here.
You see miracles all the time at our children's hospital.
The thing is,
That's why, as great as children's hospitals are, they need our support to keep miracles happening. Put your money where the miracles are.
Now I'm gonna do something today that I don't normally do. I'm gonna let you guys run this out. So look, I got them done now.
Yeah, I know it. You should have known ahead of time.
Oh, no.
I didn't have anything.
You guys are the brains of our brain. You know, but I am amazed that people always ask, are Catholics Christians?
Right. Okay. I get it. That'd be a good question to start with.
You know, and I said to myself, but of course they're Christians.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's like y'all are cold.
I know. Well, that's the thing.
People have been told for generations that we are called.
Right. So
that's their going in position.
It doesn't have to steal your strength. For simple steps you can take to help prevent, improve, and manage heart rate, go to Rise Above HF.
You don't have to pay me, bro.
Summer's here.
No, I'm not paying you. I'm just moving it to my wallet.
I'm gonna say, had to move it over here.
The sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can damage your skin if it's not protected properly. So when you're out in the sun this summer, make sure to wear your protective clothing like hats and long sleeves. And repeatedly.
So are we the first people to use the studio like this?
No, I mean, how long you have it? How long you have it? I mean, when did they fix it?
I was gone last week.
Okay.
Nice.
That is cool.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, if it works. I mean,
It's
that's
still-
pretty.
it's
You've been on
still,
it. You've been on a few days now, haven't you?
Yeah, but and I've still got to work out some of the
kinks.
Yeah.
Your board is different.
Yeah.
Telling it like it really is.
That one here.
It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays
That might
from
be one
11
here.
to 2
Maybe.
on News Radio 14.
You know what?
I
I got a small plug here too.
Yeah,
I like that.
It'll be either or. All right, good morning, everybody. Hope this day finds you well and finds everybody doing. I'm gonna take this last call. I got my guests in. My guests are here. I actually forgot they were coming almost. But let me get rid of. Well, I didn't forget they were coming, but yeah, sometimes when you get old, you get sometimes you remember, sometimes you don't. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. Not much. No, I was saying that the people. I was saying that people went on this almost meat products and all that stuff, and we were made to eat meat. So I don't know why it is, and now they're saying that the market's not doing very well because you know what? You're meant to have meat. So this junk about a plant-based diet and all that stuff, that's for the gorillas and people like that, not us. All righty then. It's Thursday morning, and which means that it's the first Thursday of the month, and I have my Catholic friends come in. Father James Dean. No, not that James Dean.
I'm back and I have a cause.
He's back and he has a cause. And
Only
Brian
older people
Peters
get that one.
with him.
Good
Now,
morning.
now those microphones are not as sensitive as they once were, so
Okay.
kind of talk directly into the center till I figure all this out here. But Father Dean is from Our Lady Guadalupe, which is up in Wetumpka now, and Brian belongs to St. Bede's. I think he still does. He still belongs.
That's correct.
St. Bede's. So we just talk about Catholicism and the things of the Catholic faith. Maybe you guys have been thinking about becoming a Catholic faith, or maybe you think about leaving the Catholic faith. Of course, I mean, God forbid that. But one of the things, though, it seems that in the Catholic, especially in the South, people seem to think that Catholics are not Christians, and
Yes.
it is a cult of sorts. So how do you guys answer those questions? Why do people think that?
Yeah, I think obviously they've received misinformation. There's a lot of disinformation out there, Kevin, as we know, and in the religious forum, that's true also. Interestingly enough, a week from tonight at Our Lady Guadalupe in Wetumpka on White Road, I'm going to give a talk on the overview of the history of the world in relation to God, from creation through redemption, through Christ and through the church. And so I will explain, this kind of thing. But basically, Jesus mentioned the word church twice in Scripture, in Matthew 16 and Matthew 18. In Matthew 16, he said, "You are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church." So, and then in Matthew 18, he said, "If you have something against your brother, go address them individually. If you win them over, that's great. If you don't, bring 2 or 3 witnesses. If they don't listen to the 2 or 3 witnesses, bring it to the church. And if they don't listen to the church, treat them as a tax collector or sinner." So that's the only 2 times Jesus mentions the word church. So that would be important times in Scripture to kind of analyze them. And so, of course, Peter was the head of the church. We believe Jesus is the good shepherd, John chapter 10. And at the end of John's gospel, before Jesus sends into heaven, he says, to Peter, "Feed my lambs, tend my sheep, feed my sheep." So Jesus is giving over his spot to Peter. We see Peter taking that leadership role in the early church, especially with the idea of abrogating the kosher food laws and also circumcision in Acts 15. Anyway, so Peter was the leader of the church when he died. Linus was replaced him, then Cletus and Clement, Sixtus, all the way down to Pope Francis. So the church has been in continual line of succession, from the apostles to today. Now, if you take your smartphone, you say, "Who founded the Methodist Church?" Ask Siri that, and Siri will tell you, John Wesley founded the Methodist Church. You say, "Who founded the Lutheran Church?" Martin Luther founded the Lutheran Church. If you ask your phone or look on the internet, say, "Who founded the Catholic Church?" it will say Jesus Christ. That's just history. So there's nothing. So like I said, people have misinformation there about that. Now, of course, some people don't agree. Obviously, the reason why they're Protestants is because they're protesting the Catholic faith. I mean, that's what the word comes from, protesting. And so certainly they don't agree with everything the Catholic Church teaches, but the Catholic Church goes back to Christ. And I've had many discussions with many different ministers. And one of my best friends, we have had discussions for 43 years now, since I was right in college. And he asked me questions about the Catholic faith. I explained them to him in Scripture. He tried to save me when we were in college. Being a Catholic, I needed salvation. And and at that time I didn't know my faith as well. But then as I've grown to know it, of course, as a priest and talking about it a lot and researching it, I've talked to him, and he understands now when I show him in the Scriptures all the basis of what we believe as Catholics. He now knows that we are a Christian, which is good. So I think it's just mainly, alleviating that disinformation that people have about Catholicism. But Catholicism is the church that Christ founded. No one in history can argue with that. If any Protestant looks back I have a friend that went to a Protestant Bible college, and the minister, told him, said, "You look at the fathers of the church, the first few centuries of the church, and you read it, and you're going to find they believe what we believe." Well, he went to their library, read the early Christian writings in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th century, and he became Catholic. He said, "They don't believe what we believe. They believe they're Catholic." And many other people have found this. There's a convert to the Catholic faith in the 19th century called John Henry Newman, and he said to be steeped in history is to cease to be Protestant. So when you look at history and you see the Christianity and the development of that, it really just undermines what you believe as a Protestant, or that foundation. Anyway, that's the church gave us the Scriptures, in the 4th century. The church, kind of codified all the writings we have now that we call the New Testament. And, you know, so it's the authority of the church that has decided these matters throughout 2,000 years. Anyway, that's just a little overview.
Good morning. Who's this? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had thank you very much. And I tell you, I have a really good friend from Fairfax, Virginia. There's a priest up there now, and it's a wonderful area, of course.
He said he had a friend that's a priest at Fairfax now.
Yes, ma'am, we can. My mics are kind of low, but
Okay, I'll do my best to speak up. But I'm sorry. Thank you very much for that. You know.
All right. Anyway, turn that down. That's a little kind of high there. Okay.
Yeah, it's all kind of squirrely.
We're working it out, you know.
Yeah.
But we got to work it
That's
out.
the danger of having us be the first people you.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
Yeah, right.
Well,
in the new studio.
all right. Anyway, y'all take a break. We'll be back right after these messages. So I guess this morning, from the Catholic Church, we got Father James Dean from Our Lady Guadalupe. I can't believe I actually remember that.
You did. I'm shocked too.
And Brian Petters from he's a congregant. I guess that's what you call him.
That's correct.
He's just a good Christian, a good Catholic.
I try to be.
Yeah. So we shall return uno momento.
Let me see your plug. I'm gonna put yours in here and see if it does one side.
Right. Yeah, it's only one side.
Yeah. So it's this side. Yeah. Kevin, just let you know, this side over here is mono. It's just one side. You know, it's not stereo. I mean, same plugs. And the plugs are, and you know, plugs, they have inside there, you know, the different levels. And if you
Are you using the big one or the
I have
small
both
one?
of them.
We just checked both.
And it's just mono?
It's just one ear, but
I
it
think
works.
it's going into one. I think going into the wire going into.
Yeah, just tell them that. It's no big deal.
And the,
Yeah, what's that?
the microphones is probably a wiring thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about it.
Yeah, yep. But can you hear me, Kevin? Was that good to hear that?
Yeah, I can hear most of it.
Maybe
tip your mic up and
Yeah. Sorry, I mean,
Right.
so you-
No, that's how we'll
you lower this and tip the mic
I
up.
tried to lower that earlier, and yeah, you got to turn that. It was pretty solid.
Well, I'm glad you know how to do it.
Oh, it's it is. All it is that right there. You loosen it up and you move it down. Okay. And then stiff. It is stiff. You're right. This is just new equipment.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
At some point.
It'd be fine. I can't believe I didn't get light up the keyboard, to light up the phone with that conversation. So.
I think after a while, though, people, truth has a way of working itself out, no matter what you believe. It is what it is.
My dad's family was Baptist from Kent, Alabama, right outside of Tallahassee. We're talking about small town, 500 people, one Baptist church. And he was anti-Catholic. His whole family was. They were just raised, told all this stuff about Catholicism. They didn't know any better. Well, one of his older sisters married a Catholic and actually became Catholic, and he married my mom who's Catholic. So 2 of the 8 kids who survived married Catholics, and getting to know the Catholics, they realized, we're as bad as they thought. So, but that was it. They just didn't know any Catholics. They grew up and they did not know one Catholic person. I'm sure there may have been a couple of Catholics in their lives from Tallahassee. They knew they didn't know they were Catholic though. So really, that's part of the deal. Now, Kevin, you don't have all those, like on a regular board. You have, does it change? Because you don't have all the buttons, they have on a regular board.
Yeah, well, that's what. Well, they're there. They're still there. It's just that they.
Do you have to hit a button and change them all? Yeah. I see. You probably hit for options and then change each one of the settings. I got you. That's cool.
That's what I figured out.
Yeah, right. Exactly. No, I'm with you. Man. Yeah.
Yeah, looking at that right there, you make the brother look like he's got to have a degree in.
You definitely need to have some info. I'm with you on that. And I don't have the info.
Yeah, well, I don't either.
And I know. So
Because most of this stuff, production people use, I don't use it.
Right.
I just use the microphones.
Yeah, of course.
And that's about it. And the
Yeah, but
telephone.
you got to ask those questions. I would want to know, like if I was on board, I would want to know the things I need to know. Because otherwise it's just hard to. But that is really cool though. They replace all those buttons. You hit them to the option and turn it, adjust it. Got the screen. Yeah, it's high tech. Wow.
Is there a button to increase the gain on our mics?
That's and that's these right here. But I had to gain all the way up.
Yeah, but I know, like I said, on this right here, like when you look at the bottom there, this right here, I think, there's the options. So if you do that right there, you can change all those different things. So you push it down.
Wait a minute, don't do that.
No, I didn't change anything. I didn't change.
Okay,
anything.
good.
That's just giving you the option. So you could change any of those.
Oh yeah.
If you wanted to. So there's the game right there. So if you just, I'm not going to change anything, of course, but all you do
I'm
is
gonna talk.
if I did that, hit that, then you could change the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to my engineer.
Yeah,
Let him,
yep, then it'll go back. It'll go back to. So,
I think you have to hit it again. What's that? I think you have to hit it again.
well, it's on source now. I don't need it. That's all you hit. As long as you're not changing anything. Yeah, it's just going to that. It probably needs to. It has exit down there. We need to get to exit. That's all right. It was on that. Go ahead and turn it down. Click it down to exit. See if we can get out of there.
Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor.
Keep going.
You're a financial advisor before investing.
Yeah.
DQ presents. Picture this. Picture the burger of your
You
dreams.
won't change
It's on the
anything.
new
But I was
DQ
just.
signature stack burgers menu.
I've seen it. No, that's okay. No, listen, it'll stay there. It'll.
You have me all screwed up in a minute.
No, that's okay. That's fine. This is mine too.
Let's go to Mike.
There, all right,
There
we're
we
good.
go.
We're all right.
Yeah,
We just leave it there. It'll go back. It'll go back. I mean, it didn't go down to exit though. It wouldn't hit exit. But the first one, that's not every time. It didn't change anything. But we did. Yeah, we find out about those. About those new links.
I'll do that.
That may be what we need. Because the same mics. Should a better system. Should work. Yeah, it should work.
Where we at? And we are back. Oh, that's kind of high. Anyway, good morning to you. Our numbers are 860-1440. Our guest this morning is Father James Dean and Brian Pettis. Somebody sent me a note here for you guys so you guys can answer.
Okay.
It says that God killed everyone during the time of Noah. He still spared Satan. He said, I think your God loves Satan more than he does human beings.
I would say, first of all, that God, the people who, can you hear me?
No, I'm having trouble.
Can you hear me, Kevin?
A little bit, yeah.
Sorry about that. I would say that God took those people out of this world in the sense that they still were living because our souls don't die. Our souls are spiritual, and we believe our bodies will be joined back to our souls as Christ was on his resurrection. So Satan is a spirit, so he can't die, just like our souls can't die. So if that makes sense, in other words, the spirit is not subject to the
Satan was
material
a
world.
physical being.
He's a being, yes. He's a person, actually. He has will and intellect, but he is a person, but he's not. He has no body. Satan,
He's not a
he's
human.
an angel. He's a
Right.
fallen angel.
He's
So,
right. He's a fallen angel,
Yeah.
and the comparison doesn't work because the people that were killed in the flood were killed physically. Well, like Father said, you can't kill Satan physically. It's not
Yeah.
possible.
Right. And,
So-
and the proof of it, their souls are still alive, and they went, for God in judgment, just
Right.
like all of us will. Yeah. So, anyway.
So did not that God makes mistakes, but why do you believe that he allowed Satan to exist, to even come into existence?
Remember, we've talked about this before, Kevin. It's free will. And so, in other words, we have to have free will to love. We can't love without being free. I mean, if a computer can't love, it's created, it has a certain purpose, it acts according to how you made it, it has no free will. So we're human beings, of course, and angels are too. Angels are beings. They're intelligent beings, created in the image of God. They have will and intellect. So we can make decisions. We choose to love and we choose not to love. And so to have beings that can love, they have to have the ability not to love, or else it wouldn't be love at all. If you chain somebody in your basement, and say this person loves me, because they're here with me all the time. Well, you have made them a prisoner, and they are not free, and it's not love. May get Stockholm syndrome at some time, and somehow believe that, that there is some kind of relationship there. But if you don't have freedom, you cannot have love. But also freedom gives you the possibility of not loving, So, yeah. So some of the angels chose not to love God. Actually, I'm going to talk about that next Thursday night, Kevin.
It just seemed like me, free will has been our downfall.
Oh, it is the potential for a downfall.
That's right. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning. Okay. Yes. Catholicism. Yes. I got you. True. Yeah, animals. Yep. Yep. Yeah. That'd be cannibalism. You shouldn't have been taking communion if you're not Catholic.
Right. Okay. All right. We get.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So you're correct in saying it's against the Old Testament, but it's not against the New Testament. In John's 6th chapter, he clearly says you must eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that at the Last Supper, Jesus is presenting his body and blood to the apostles. Okay, so it's easy to say, oh, it's illegal in the Old Testament. Okay, but the New Testament says you have to do it. And when Jesus said that in the 6th chapter of John, the Jews that were around him looked at him, including Judas, looked at him and said, we can't do this. This is crazy. We can't do this. We have to leave. And Jesus didn't say, no, you don't understand. He says, he turns to the apostles and he says, who are you going to follow? And Peter says, you have the words of eternal life. Okay, so it is a commandment of the church. It is a commandment of Jesus directly in the Bible to eat his flesh and blood. Now let's talk about the experience of the Eucharist. The church had a long time trying to figure out exactly what was going on. Okay, and what we came up with was a term called transubstantiation, which means that the body and blood of Jesus Christ are present in the Eucharist under the appearances of bread and wine. But those are just the accidents of what it looks like and tastes like. They are not what it is. There have been times throughout history, and you want to look these up, they're called Eucharistic miracles, where the host has turned into heart flesh, and the wine has turned into the cup has turned into actual blood. These are things that are documented. They're celebrated in their locations. There's one in, I can't remember, I think it's Spain, where every year the blood uncongeals. It's held in a reliquary, a container that holds it, and every year it becomes liquid again for one day.
That's actually a saint. That's Saint Januarius.
Right.
But it's not the Eucharist there. But,
okay. I thought it was the Eucharist.
One small correction. Judas did not believe at the John 6. Jesus projected that he would betray him, but not he didn't believe. He stayed with him actually.
Right. He didn't leave, but he did.
But it doesn't say he didn't believe.
Yeah.
So, but I would say, what Brian's talking about, if you have a problem with this, you have a problem with Jesus, basically, because Jesus is one that taught this. And you got to understand the Old Testament prohibition about drinking blood. They thought if you drink the blood of a tiger, you have that strength of a tiger, because they saw the life blood as, kind of a passing on that life and that strength and the courage. So a lion or a bear or whatever, if you drink their blood, you become like that. You receive those kind of qualities of that animal.
Well, and Ed's first call talked about not everything, you can't eat everything. And if you look at Acts or in 1 Corinthians, Luke in Acts and Paul in 1 Corinthians talks about not eating blood sacrificed to idols. Yeah. That's what the sacrifices were. They were to idols. We are prohibited from the Old Testament. That continues on, but that doesn't mean that the Eucharistic miracle that God gives us at every Mass, at every day, all 24/7 all around the world, is not what He told us it would be, because He told us it would be His flesh and blood.
Yeah, and you have many different Old Testament references. Yeah, many different old.
Hey,
sorry,
turn your radio down, whoever that is.
But we have many different references in the Old Testament that prepare us for the Eucharist, such as the Passover, where the
Oh, hey, we got to finish it. Let me finish that when we come back.
Yeah, we're getting into, well, the serpent in the garden. That's what he's probably thinking, obviously, what he's thinking of, the reptilian. But, Lord, Kevin, I don't know if my mic's working very well at all.
Well, I'm hearing you good.
Oh, you are? That's okay. If you're hearing it, that's good. It's going out. I just can't hear it in my headphones.
Yeah.
I used to be able to hear it very much better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you need to get the techs in and let them fine-tune this bad boy, because obviously he's got the capability. You can tell this is a nice setup. But you need to get a lesson on the board there. I would do that.
During the pandemic, prices will not be changing for students already registered for reduced or free lunches. And with these changes, they expect to pay around $20 per week on school food. Attention Braves fans, you have the chance today to see the World Series Championship Trophy. It'll be on display at the Home Depot in Montgomery Boulevard between.
Yeah, no, it is. I bet. It's like all technology, you know that. Yeah. The computer's a pain if you don't know how to use it. And you teach people how to use that.
News Radio 1440
get the most out of it.
WLWI
I know it was going to take me 2 weeks to
and
figure it out. I mean, the basic things, I would, like, once you start doing stuff, I would just start asking questions.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The time is nearing for Brittany Griner to learn her fate for drug possession in Russia. She appeared in court today. She's making a statement right now after prosecutors made their recommendation for the WNBA star during closing statements. Correspondent Vicky Barker at the foreign desk.
Handcuffed and wearing a gray prison t-shirt and on Brittany Griner to proceed in the cell to be accused. It's bars, door creaking shut. Her lawyers have argued the two-time Olympic gold medalist had no criminal intent when she packed vape canisters containing prescription cannabis oil in her luggage, but the prosecutor has just demanded that Griner serve 9.5 years, close to the maximum sentence.
Griner holding out hope diplomatic negotiations will win her release. At court in Austin, Texas, conspiracy theorist Alex Jones says he now believes the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre was real.
No way.
Insisting it was a hoax. A jury has begun deliberating how much Jones owes the parents of one of the children killed in the attack. CBS is now
when you put it that way,
asserting at one point he made up to $800,000 a day from ads.
I have not heard of this.
Parents says he now has years of Jones text messages. Many were accidentally leaked by his attorneys. The AP has obtained nearly 12,000 pages of sealed records from a child sex abuse lawsuit against the Mormon Church. One survivor revealed she was 5 years old when her father confided in a bishop he'd been abusing her. Cadigan represents the young survivor who was adopted by another family.
What I think we all want for justice in this case is for churches to start immediately reporting sex abuse to the police, not to each other.
An update on California's largest wildfire of the year from CBS's Michael George.
4 people have died so far in the McKinney fire, and authorities say the death toll could still rise. California has faced its largest and deadliest wildfires in the last 5 years, and experts say climate change is a huge factor.
Feel like you're squeezed in like a can of sardines when you fly? As airline fares soar, carriers have been shrinking seat sizes. Now, CBS's Chris Van Cleve says regulators are asking for feedback from the public.
This comment period is part of the process to create a new regulation, and the FAA isn't interested in hearing from you about how you like the in-flight experience or if you think your seats are comfortable. They are focused on safety, and in this case, how close is too close to get out in a hurry.
First-time unemployment sign-ups rose by a modest 6,000 last week. S&P futures up 8. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
Like, what does it shoot? How does
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most.
There's a guy
spending, our health
This
is why so many people are joining Medishare right now. Medishare is a trusted way to save up to 50% of your monthly healthcare costs.
North of Las Vegas.
One
of the really super secret places up there. Who's driving the drone from there? It's actually Creech Air Force Base. It's up in the Nellis Range. He's driving the drone, and he puts the
Christian healthcare steering ministry.
maybe you have a second drone putting the laser on top of the guy, and then it launches a missile, and that missile follows that laser right down. It's just an explosive, right?
Just killed him. Did it kill anybody else?
I don't know.
Here you go.
I don't know. I understand
somebody cut him up or something.
Well, I mean, you want to blow you.
I think drones is kind of cheating.
New moves in Washington to regulate pay for college athletes.
College athletes can be in commercials now?
Well, it's kind of like when the Bill Clinton said, somebody said, you know, and I ain't dogging the Air Force, but y'all should way up there and do your dirt way down there.
What was the most dangerous
Now, 2 members of Congress have reached out to college
It
sports leaders
had to be the guy in that bomber.
athletes are compensated nominated. One is
B-17
Alabama
bomb crew,
Republican
yes,
Tommy Tuberville,
were
former head football coach at Auburn.
the
8
highest
bills related to college
casualty
sports
rate
have been
in World
filed
War
over
II.
the past several
The
years.
reason,
There's been no
you ever
major
heard of
movement on
Memphis
any of them.
Belle? It was
Steve
the
Keith
first
at
one to make
CBS
25
News.
missions.
Star Aaron Rodgers tells the
There were a
Aubrey
lot
Marcus
of them that
podcast the psychedelic
25
drug
missions
ayahuasca
was
led to the
not
best season of his
guaranteed.
career.
You were likely to die in 25 minutes.
Possible.
Deborah
To
Rodriguez,
think of those
CBS
guys
News.
and them turns on the top and the turns on the bottom, and the planes coming to shoot at you.
The B-17, you had to be put in the turret before they took off.
Yeah.
You had to be put in the belly turret before you took off.
Yeah.
There was no way in and out.
He was
Oh,
getting
wow.
sky-high quotes from other companies.
I hope they gave extra pay for that. Not that it would help.
Yeah, right. I hope they gave some benefits to survivors.
Man, that's it.
That was
Now that's bravery.
yeah,
That's bravery. I call myself a little brave, but I don't know.
I'm with you on that.
That was all enlisted in there. What no officer in there.
Was it Brian enlisted in there? Enlisted
There were 3 officers and 5 enlisted.
What did they shoot at over there? What did they try to?
They were shooting 50 caliber. Yeah, they were shooting 50 caliber.
Wow. So back then, yeah, the planes weren't like that. Yeah, all the jets and everything.
Do you ever watch 12 O'Clock High? You ever seen it? I love that show. That's what I learned most of my stuff about the B-17.
Now, did they not have fighter plane like cover?
Well, the fighter planes didn't have the same range. So the fighters could get them to a certain point, but the bombers had to go further.
Gotcha.
They developed a tactic that
They didn't have military refueling back then.
no.
Okay.
They developed a tactic where the bombers would be layered in a way where they would all have suppressive fire around themselves. But I mean,
yeah,
there's nothing you can do about flak, for example. Flak. So what the defenses would do is they would put up these balloons. So the operational ceiling of a B-17 is about 20,000.
Yeah. Right.
So they would put up these balloons with 15,000 feet of cable. Okay, and they raise those, and of course the bombers can't fly below those because there's all cable, because the cables mess them up. And then so now the flak is explosive shells that explode, that are set to explode between 16 and 19,000 feet. So you're flying in this zone. It's the only place you can be, and there's all kinds of crap blowing up around you. And so the German fighters would not attack when over the flak field. But the fighters, I mean, they had advantages. And it wasn't until the P-51D that we had fighters that could go over the target.
Okay, we're back. We're now, guys. You guys got to bear with me now. It's my new equipment here.
Yep.
I got a lot of new knobs up here and all that kind of stuff, and I'm sort of OJ10.
Yeah.
But now, if I'm doing this time next Friday, okay, you might well ask for a replacement. But I think I could. You got to give me some grace here.
Yes.
Because I got to figure all this stuff out.
Right.
And one thing about life is the only thing that's certain is change.
Yeah, we do a lot of that.
But we would be bored to tears if we just did the same thing every day.
Certainly.
All the time. Our guest is our Father James Dean from Our Lady Guadalupe. Is it Our Lady Guadalupe? What does Guadalupe mean?
Yeah, of Guadalupe. Yep.
What does that mean? What is it?
That's it. There's actually, we believe that at certain points in time, God has allowed Mary to appear to different people to call them back to following her son, Jesus. And one was in Guadalupe, or one was in Mexico City, right outside of Mexico City, which that is why the whole country, became Catholic, because of this appearance of the Blessed Virgin Mary to Juan Diego in 1531. So you can look it up online, Our Lady Guadalupe, 1531. Mary appeared to this 51-year-old simple peasant and wanted a church built in a certain place, and a couple of miracles happened whereby the bishop was convinced that she appeared. He built the big basilica at that point. I've been there actually and seen the tilma and many miracles around the tilma. Also, the garment he was wearing that Mary appeared on, actually to show the bishop that she was there. But anyway, you can read about all that, Our Lady of Guadalupe, and that is why the whole country basically converted to Catholicism, because of that appearance, in 1531. It was very pagan. There was some influence of Christianity, but not much. And that really just turned the country. So that's why, like I said, most of it.
Now, I did see something one time. I mean, every once in a while, you'll see something in the paper about somebody put a piece of toast on their plate, and it looked like Jesus hanging from the cross. I mean, do we really take that kind of thing seriously?
Right. No. I mean, no doubt that God may, give us little signs or whatever, but we don't take those as miracles. I mean, they may, God intercedes all the time.
Probably not on toast.
Yeah, no, God can do that. I'm not limiting God. And also, like I said, even little bitty, things that God does in our lives. I see God working in my life all the time, and I'll just say, if something happens that that is negative or something like that, and I needed to hear, something or see something, I'll just look up and say thanks, so things happen all the time to me.
One of the standard criticisms you get from Protestants about Catholics is that we worship images and idols and statues and all that. None of that's true. We don't worship statues and images and things like that. We use them to remind us of what God is and who He is and who His friends are and who we should be imitating. If somebody sees the image of Christ in toast and it makes them think of being a better Christian, there's no harm there. The likelihood of it really being the work of God, I don't know.
Exactly.
But if you're going to turn around and say that it's an idol to worship, well, that would be trouble. The same way that if the statues that are St. Bede, if I was worshiping those statues, that would be sacrilege as well.
And statues are just three-dimensional pictures.
Right.
Pictures are two-dimensional. Statues just three. It's nothing different than that. And like I said, just like I would not say that image that they saw of Jesus in the toast was from God, I wouldn't say it's not from God. And I don't think anyone else could say that definitively either. So but God does work through this material world.
Mysterious ways. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Right. That is a great question. Brian may have more insights, but in Ireland, it was St. Patrick, Bishop Patrick at the time, whenever he was sent by the Pope to evangelize Ireland. It was the only country that ever converted without bloodshed. There was no martyrdom there. He just preached the gospel, and God worked, and the whole country converted. So he had a great influence there. Well, at one point, and I don't know all the historical factors, Northern Ireland, the 6 counties of Northern Ireland became, were influenced by, I think, the Scottish Presbyterians and some Protestant group, and they became, that became very infiltrated up there. So you're right. In Ireland, the 16 lower counties and the 6 upper counties, there is that tension that should not be there. I mean, we should love each other. In the United States, we have freedom of religion, and we've always had it from the beginning. So we haven't, even though we had some persecutions here and there by the different groups, but it's not been huge.
The other thing to remember is the 100 years after the Protestant Revolution were very bloody between Protestants and Catholics. When Henry VIII decided to leave the church, he didn't just leave himself and start a Church of England. He actually waged a war against the Catholics that were still in England. And in that process, you end up creating a unification of Great Britain, which included Northern Ireland, through that process. And the Church of England was
a state church.
A state church. It was the state. And if you didn't believe, you were persecuted. It wasn't just Catholics either. The Pilgrims were refugees from the Church of England as well. So there was a specific way you had to believe, and the Ireland, other than those 6 counties, said that they weren't going to, and they never became part of Great Britain because of it. And there was always animosity, and there were Catholics in the north that hated that they were being repressed by the British, and they did awful things too. And so, there's a lot of history of religion being part of geopolitics, especially in that era.
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
that you have to take into
really good point there, Brian, about our country, from what I understand, is pretty much an experiment in freedom of religion.
Right. Because nobody else has it.
Religion was, for many centuries, a unifying force, like you mentioned. And like in the Roman Empire, you could worship your own God, but you had to worship the Roman gods. And if you didn't, you were persecuted and even executed, the first few centuries of the church. So in the same way, but you're right, in Ireland, we should not be fighting, we should not be killing each other and doing all this harm.
All in the name of religion.
Yeah, right. And yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I appreciate it, and we should have all that fixed, squared away next week. I might call my engineer, but he's not feeling good today, so we're working on it. We're working. Good morning. Who's this?
Yep.
Good morning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we could sin.
Yeah. Yeah. But sin. Yeah. Oh, no, right on. We everything happens under God's providence. Some of it is God's permissive will, and some of it is active will. God does not actively will evil, of course, but he allows evil. We have abortion.
I can barely hear you.
I know. This microphone is just not picking up, and I'm right on it.
That's better. All right, that's better.
I'm right on it.
I
Anyway.
understand that.
So no, definitely. I think you're right that everything happens under God's providence. Either it's permissive will, he permits it to happen, or he actively wills it to happen. So certainly, and definitely, sin was the cause of the flood and sense of judgment on sin. And it was a warning, as you see in the New Testament, it was a warning to those in the New Testament and to us today that there's going to be a judgment for sin.
Yeah, it's coming. I'm working. My end. It's working. It's new. It's new stuff. So
it is. Kevin's got new equipment here, and he's working on the details.
Yeah, we're figuring it out as we go along. But the next time you show up, it'll be better. Got a new guy here. We'll be back right after this.
Almost about anyway, because it's 8:20. But yours is working better than mine.
No, I can't hear the mic.
Yeah, I think that it's just settings.
I mean, we're hearing a lot of you're trying to turn us up, but we're getting a lot of machine noise behind it. So
yeah, you gotta ask.
I've got to go. I got to be.
You gotta ask those questions.
At 9. At 9. So
unplugging me there. But like I said, this over here is just mono on the speaker, but you know, you can still hear it. But I don't know. Yeah, you got that. It shouldn't be that hard to, to adjust these things. But anyway, good deal. So what's up, Dave?
How is you, brother?
Thank you, brother. No, it's always enjoyable. And that was good. We had some good conversations. And,
I appreciate your patience.
I know it. No, I know it. But I mean, we all do it.
Just for the game stakes, that's all.
No, we all do electronics. I do it in church too. And I know that you have to know. And like I said, if something's not working, I ask the question, why did that squeal? Why is this
for all these years? This has been back there.
Well, I remember you took it over.
And I've been
exactly
managing this from back there. And now I'm managing this from up here.
Gotcha. Well, I know you used to have somebody that screens your callers.
I like that.
That was in the old days. Yeah, but no, that's fine. You got it. But like I said, just ask those questions because I know it's can be good. I just don't know it. I know I've seen boards and I've seen all those different things and just never have had a need for it.
They're not adjusted. Something's not adjusted right.
It is. Here we go. Good to see you,
All right. Well, thank you, guys. It'll be better next time.
Sean Hannity Morning Minute. And I'm urging all of you to be very, very smart in terms of the money you're going to spend and the money that may be the extra money you can bring in. That's the only way to have a hedge against the economic downturn that we're living through. And the media mob, I mean, all they want to do is protect every socialist Democrat because they buy into this climate cult alarmism themselves. You have the Washington Post column. The recession experts don't think we are in one, and neither do I. For all the talk surrounding the GDP numbers this week, the job market is strong, and so are other key indicators. The hacks at the AP are saying the economy shrinking for 2 consecutive quarters is not the definition of a recession that, quote, counts. Yes, it is the definition of a recession.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
There's no sign that identity theft is slowing down, and frankly, why should it? You have more than $14 billion stolen from identity theft victims last year alone. Now, the cyber criminals, that's their success story. To the rest of us, it's a wake-up call. Now, all of us are putting our personal information at risk every day in more places than ever, and all of that exposure can make it really dangerous and easy to steal your identity. Now, LifeLock by Norton, they make it easy to help protect yourself by monitoring your identity and alerting you to threats that you could miss on your own. If you become a victim, you will get a U.S.-based LifeLock restoration specialist that will be dedicated to your case and help you fix it. Now, look, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor every single transaction of every single business. But if you use my name, Hannity, you'll save an additional 25% off your first year. Just call 1-800-LifeLock or go to LifeLock.com. Use the promo code Hannity, 1-800-LifeLock, LifeLock.com, promo code Hannity.
Stacking Benjamins with Joe and his good friend OG not only has great financial insight, it's laid back with humor too.
Joe and his
I believe
whether it's the market not behaving or inflation not behaving. I was surprised to actually when you said fudge factor, Doug's eyes in yours didn't even perk up. Just set the fudge right out there and let Doug marinate it. You're gonna have to rephrase that.
Stacking Benjamins. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and only with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit CreonInfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I got smart about marketing, smart about college. When it comes to your money, whatever you want to get smart about, you can find it at smartaboutmoney.org, a free online resource from the nonprofit National Endowment for Financial Education. Smartaboutmoney.org, the easy place to start when you want to get smart.
He's smart, witty, and fast on the draw. It's Mark Levin this afternoon at 5 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
Okay, we are back. Somebody told me school don't start till next Tuesday. I thought school started Monday, the 8th. So what is Monday? Is Monday the Monday not the 8th? Okay, so so my child don't have to get up that early. Okay, let's see, Monday, August. Okay, so they said, so when does school start? Tuesday or Monday? Which one is it? I don't know. Okay then, somebody tell me. Okay, anyway, they're gone. My technical issues this morning, they'll be back next month and the last week of the month. Can somebody tell me when school actually starts? I'm looking at this calendar, July, August. Okay, so I guess it's Tuesday. Not Monday, I guess. I guess that's when it is. Okay. All right then. Yeah. All right. I guess that's when it is then. All right. 860-1440 number. You want to give us a call up, talk to whatever on your mind this morning. But don't forget, our show will be brought to you in part by JL Lane Truck and Auto. JL Lane Truck and Auto, the premier pre-loved car place where you can get an automobile without any worries. Okay, because all the cars in that inventory have been cleaned and cleared of all known and even some unknown issues. They're past a rigorous and vigorous inspection process. So if you're ready to ride, go to 208 Gun Road. That's 208 Gun Road, or give them a call, 272-4313. But if you want to look at the inventory before you get over there, see what they got on stock. But you might want to call them too, because sometimes they get cars in and they don't make it to on the line yet. But it's jllanetruckandauto.com, jllanetruckandauto.com. If you want a pre-loved car, a car that's been used but not used up, and you want to be dependable, you want to get your kid a car, you want to get an extra car for the old lady, whatever it is you want to do, you get tired of them driving yours, especially if you don't want the kids driving your car. I'm just trying to tell you, this is a great place to do business. They're there to help you. Not only that, but here's one of the most important aspects of there. You know what? Let's say you had your mess ups in your life. Let's say you had a hiccup or two, because we all have had some, and your credit's not as good as it ought to be. Well, that's okay, because what they will do, they'll let you buy there and pay there, and they'll get you back on the right track. Okay, sit down with Mr. Lane or sit down with Steve, have a conversation. You be honest with them, they'll be honest with you, and they won't sell you a car that you have to bring back a week later. Nope. They check these cars out and they work well. Okay, they work well. Okay, from Lexuses to trucks to Laureates to Chevrolet to Hyundai, you name it, they got it. So again, go to jllanetruckandauto.com right now. Go on the website, take a look at what they got. The inventory changes. So just because you went last week doesn't mean that you got the same thing there this week. Okay, JL Lane Truck and Auto, 272-4313, 272-4313. And that's for Steve. And if they don't have what you're looking for on the website, that's okay. They can get it. So just call them up. Ask for Steve. 272-4313. The numbers here, 860-1440. I meant to bring this up last week because I forgot to tell you guys. Okay, you remember a couple of weeks ago, I told you that you are not a Democrat or a Republican unless you actually belong to the party. And I got argued down. That I was wrong. That if you vote Democrat and you vote Republican, that makes you one. That's a lie. Now, let me give you an example. This whole issue with Sabrina Martin, okay? Sabrina Martin won the election. But guess what? They've decided to take her off the thing, even though the Democrats put her in. And you know who's going to put a replacement in? The Democrats that actually belong to the party. They're not going to ask you because you don't matter. Okay? If you're not a member of these respective parties, Democrat or Republicans, you don't get a say in anything. All you get to do is vote for free. Okay? And I told you that If you're not a member, so the high muckety mucks in the Democratic Party are going to replace Sabrina Martin, okay, which is their right to do that. It's a private party. So, but don't you ever get it confused because you vote Democrat or you vote Republican that makes you one of them. I'm sorry, it does not. And this is a classic example of what I'm talking about. You don't get to decide who goes for that judgeship because you're not a member of the apparatus. You're not a paying member. You're not a member of the Democratic Party. All you are is a free vote. Okay. So has anybody asked you who you want to represent you? If it can't be Sabrina Martin, then who you want? No, they don't care because you don't matter. I'm just telling you. So my point has been made. My point has been made. You're not a Democrat or a Republican officially unless you belong to the party. Other than that, you like free labor. Okay. Free labor. That means you work for free. Every time you go to the polls and put that vote in form, you are voting for a candidate of the party. That doesn't make you a member of the party. Okay, I just want to let you know that. And the Sabrina Martin thing shows you exactly what I'm talking about. Listen, I don't know why they didn't do their due diligence when it came to Sabrina Martin. As far as that, I don't know why they didn't do it. But she won the election. But you, the people who voted for her, have no say in whether or not she continues to represent them. Okay, because a few people in Birmingham that belong to the party get to make the decision of who to replace her with without asking you, because you're not a member of the Democratic Party. So now I made my point. Okay, you are not a member of the Republican Party or the Democratic Party unless you are a paid card-carrying member. Other than that, you just free labor. 860-1440. Good morning. Who's this? Oh, good morning. Man, I don't know why this thing. Wait, it is now. I don't have it on. Hello. You can't hear me now? Hold on. Let me see. Well, I ain't got no news going on. Let me check this out right quick here. No, I don't have any news on. Well. Well, see, I can't really hear you. Yeah, that's better. That's true, but again, the whole point was you yeah. Well, you can write it right, but write-in campaigns don't work. It's only worked a couple of times in the history of America. Yeah. Oh, well, no, I don't have a defeated. No. But it won't. But she. Oh, well, you're talking about the general election. Sure, they can do that. But you would think that if you were actually right. But if you were an actual member of the Republican or Democratic Party, they could not summarily dismiss all of the votes that you gave her and put somebody else on there if you're not a member of the Democratic Party because you vote Democrat or Republican. No, but everybody told me so. But they said in Alabama, if you vote Democrat or Republican, that's what you are. You're not. Unless you're a paid member, you are not a member of those parties. That's right. That's all they do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Okay, turn. Yes. Right. To be an actual member. Right. Yeah, I know, Charles. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because you are a member. Right. Because you are a member. I don't think she was either, but she just ran as a Democrat. Yeah. So here's my thing. Why but but here's my thing. So the parties then will allow you to run under their banner even if you are not a member of the Republican or the Democratic Party? Well, either way, my point was that everybody, you're not a Democrat or a Republican officially unless you're a card carrying member. Right. 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 But that was the law. That was the law when Kay Ivey did. They made that law a couple of years ago, so we wouldn't get into this circle of different. Well, that's because they've had races where they've had 5 and 6 elections for the same seat. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But I get, but the whole. Right. Right. But I think the people who voted for Sabrina Martin votes are now are discharged and irrelevant because of a few members of the party, the official members of the party said, well, we don't want her. And so now all the vote that these people did, uh, but she's been running for a year. She's been running for that office for a year. Exactly. Mm. And right. And the only people that have to follow bylaws and constitution are the members of the party, not the voters. Yeah. because the voters really don't matter. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. Now, okay. Yeah. All right. I got to run. Let me take one more because then I got to go to another break. Good morning. Who's this? Well, no, you don't. But you got to pay $30 to be a member, the official member of the Democratic Party. Okay. Well, yes, you can. But if you listen, no, I don't buy that. You are still a human being. Now, if you don't have the courage anymore to stand by your conviction because you want to believe what the party tells you as opposed to what the people tell you, then that's on you. Okay, but that's just the way of the world. But you got to have well. Wait a minute. Don't blame but don't blame the party if you don't have any intestinal fortitude. If you don't have the balls to stand up for what you say you believe and you give in to whatever political pressure and you got the office, that's up to you. Again, I don't. Again, I'm not a member. I'm not a member of either party. So I'm just telling people, right. But my thing is that these people are thinking they actually belong to the Democratic Party. It does work on. Yeah. Okay, that's what you say. Good morning. Yes. Well, I don't know, but I know one thing. All the votes in those people made her a winner, and all of a sudden now a few people in Birmingham are going to say, "Well, we don't want her." Mm. All right, appreciate it. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. You're a winner, and now you're a loser. Anyways, 8:43 in the morning. Got to take a break. We'll come back. First of all, Josh, one of our sponsors of our show, of course, is Men's Health of Montgomery. 440-3660. Do you feel low energy? Do you feel you got low libido? You may have low T. Low T. T stands for testosterone. That is the chemical that makes the difference in a man versus a woman. It gives you the strength. It helps that metabolism thing grow. It makes you lean and mean. Matter of fact, you remember not so long ago when you were young and nobody could top you or stop you? But that's because you had a bunch of testosterone. Well, your testosterone level may be a little lower right now. So you need to give those guys a call. It's only $99. Go in and take a test and see. And it don't take a month. It takes a couple of days to figure out what your numbers are. They'll tell you, and they can consult with you and tell you some of the things they could recommend. But if you got low T, then you should be coming to Montgomery Men's Health. Okay, that number is 440-3663. I went over there, and when I walked out of there, they redefined what man meant in the dictionary. They put my picture in there, okay? Because I had the T thing going on, okay? I'm old school, but I still have the T thing going on. Most people, because I'm a United States Army paratrooper retired. That's what it is. And we keep our stuff up and going. I'm just saying. So you might want to do that. So give them a call, 440-3663. When is the last time you spent $99 and it could change your life? Well, this is one of those times. So give them a call, 440-3663, 440-3663. Okay. Montgomery Men's Health. Get that T check. We'll be back.
Lower chances of showers and storms today and tomorrow as we round out this first work week in August. Temperatures today around 92, temperatures tomorrow around 95. Both days will feature a mix of sun and clouds. Chances for showers and storms today around 30% to 20% on Friday. So a much needed dry time after a very wet start to the week. Saturday and Sunday will feature some scattered late afternoon and evening showers and storms with highs in the 90s. That's the first weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440. Montgomery Skybox Traffic. Brought to you by Bluebaker Motors. It's better every day. On News Radio 1440.
Hello, Montgomery. Right now, things are looking good. Nothing's being reported Monday and Thursday, so we'll see you on an Albany route. Reinhardt Toyota has hired a new car sales consultant. Pay $3,600 per month. Some sales experience first. Stop by Reinhardt Toyota and go to jobs.reinhardttoyota.com. Buckle up front and back. It's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Jake Boyle. Are you hungry? Are you in heat now? Then head on over to Bojangles in East City. Bojangles has you covered for breakfast, lunch, and dinner all day, every day. Get a hot breakfast with homemade fluffy biscuits, bacon, twisted eggs, or grab the Bo Chicken sandwich combo for lunch. And on your way home, make the family happy with the chicken piece of the best chicken around. Wash it all down with ice cold sweet tea. And don't forget dessert, because the sweet potato pie is back. Get the Bojangles now, because it's Bo time. 1966 East State Parkway. Right now, you can take advantage of the Bojangles sweet deal. Just visit this radio station's website and click on Sweet Deal. You can get $50 to spend at Bojangles for just $25. Right, $25. You can get $50 to spend at Bojangles instead. But not to hurry. These deals go fast. Just visit this radio station's website and click on Sweet Deal for your Bojangles. Summer is here, so get out and enjoy the sun. Especially if not too rarely easy with some makeup and some makeup. You don't need brands like this. Great for enjoyment, great family fun. Summer, a blast, and new Dodge Yard for Dodge family from the 4% APR for 72 months. Make this the summer. Hop online. Give us chat and phone to help you DodgeAutomotive.com. Driving the set the mark. Almost 2 million people use the bike for 3 years. Ignore them. Today, help Walmart and Samsung get it on. It is only available with the last after the border. But what does doctor's money say about the bike? Two doctors on the front, of course, certified who knows the first step. Most airborne allergens, viruses, all of those things are out of the way. So now that you come in my office, I tell them I highly recommend that you utilize on a daily basis for overall good health. And the logic on natural, trust me, walk, walk, do that right with your back. A bomb, health, not waiting for second to speak. One of the pieces we most have to be successful with your conditions, no back dysfunction. And Montgomery Men's Health, we want you to know this always.
Dream Weaver.
Don't miss Sean Hannity. Biden Incoherently hears live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
All righty then. Okay, we're back. Let's go back to phones right quick. 860-1440 is the number. You want to give us a call up and talk to what's over in your mind this morning, if you got a mind, that is. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning. Good morning. Turn your radio down there. Pretty good. No. No. Well, let me ask you, I'm trying to figure out, but let me ask you a question. It seems in America today that disagreement somehow has transcended into racism. What makes this guy, in your words, the biggest racist? And you don't think you do? You don't think you do? Well, but it depends. Yeah. I guess my saying is that what is a racist? A racist is a person. Wait a minute. A racist is I'm going to try. A racist is somebody who thinks they are superior to you because of their race. That's what the definition is. Now, people have a right to their own opinions. Right? I think you should have that right. I think you should. They work for the federal government, executive branch. I think the president should have that right. I don't know where I haven't found that. Right. Well, there's a process you go through, though. Right. There's a process you go through. Okay, well, that's what you say. I don't see it that way. Yeah, I don't see the military. Okay, let me put it this way. I think we somewhere along the line we have lost our marbles in America to what this country is all about. We don't have to agree. America is based on an adversarial principle, like our court system. There's one on this side and one on the other side. It is not your job to make me believe what you believe. Your job is to convince me to believe what you believe because it sounds logical, it sounds reasonable, and it makes sense and common sense. But in America today, if I disagree with you and I have to be white or I have to be black, then all of a sudden now I'm a racist. I just that excuse to me is done with. I'm just sick of hearing it. Well, I felt that way for a long time. I felt that way for a long time. And matter of fact, talking about that, I felt when I used to go down the street and see a black woman with a white guy, I said, what the hell is going on there? You know, I mean, listen, and I'm for that too. But that's what we publicly say. But you don't. Can you really tell me when you see a black person and a white person? Okay, well, I mean, I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised no other kind of way. Yeah. What a tax! Democracy. Wait a minute. What is the attack? Our government was made by people not letting the government tell us what to do. That we, the people, are governed by consent. By consent. That word. Right. But we don't work for the government. The government works for us. So how can I be? I mean, we are governed by our own consent. Okay, the government shouldn't have the problem. When listen, it all started when they're able to get take money out of my check before I get my check. Trust me, that's too much damn power. Yeah, we'd have them. We'd have room. We'd have everything. Matter of fact, we'd probably be better off without that income tax thing because people have a tendency to give money when they know where the money is needed. But you get my check before I get my check. Now, you talking about power? Power? That's power, brother. I'm doing the work, but they get the money first. Well, first of all, it's not a democracy. It's not a democracy. Mm. Well, democracies normally will be majority rule. We are a representative republic, but I'm forgetting who they're representing now. Well, let me. Well, when is that going to stop? when is that going to stop? People with the money make the rules. Okay, so I'm moving on to something else. All right, appreciate it. Take one more call. We're gonna call this a morning. Good morning. Who's this? Yes, quickly. I got about a minute. Oh, wait, my bad. Let me turn that down right quick. Okay. Now, go ahead. Right. That's right. Hey, I appreciate it. I got to go. Time's up. We'll see you tomorrow. Called earlier. Whew.
The U.S. Department of Transportation is giving out $17 million in grants for airports in smaller cities. That includes Montgomery. Montgomery's airport will get $300,000. Some of that money will be used for marketing their flights to Washington, D.C.